Throughout this MOOC, we've tried to share a variety of perspectives and experiences. In this final lesson, I want you to listen to some of the guest speakers' observations about life, hope, and empowerment.
It'd be really great if there were more disabled people on TV. I think that'd be cool. Because that's one thing that I'm recognizing is that I remember watching the Paralympics when I was younger. I believe it was in 2004 or something, and they played the Paralympics right alongside the regular Olympics, I guess. The Paralympics are for people with physical disabilities, and it seemed to me that they gave them equal time, and it was really great because for me it kind of gave me some kind of role models to look up to. But after the next year that the Olympics rolled around, they didn't do that. They just had taped coverage of it, and it was after the fact, and I was kind of let down. So I think it would be helpful to see people with disabilities in the media that are more involved, that are more active, and putting them in a more positive light.
How has a disability affected me? I would have to say that you hear from a lot of people when they have a traumatic injury, they say, well, I don't take life for granted. I think that goes without saying. It goes well beyond that. You really have a different perspective on life. You have clarity all the time of your surroundings when it comes to accessibility, when it comes to people's attitudes and behaviors. When they need to get into a place of business, or if it's personal, especially in Chicago, there's still a lot of places that do have a couple of stairs. I say, can you come out and help me with a wheelchair? And what I mean by help is, I can give you a little demonstration. I do a wheelie. I lean up to the back of the first stair. The person grabs the handles and then with the momentum lifting me by stair by stair. Now remember, my injury happened, I went back to college. There was no accessible places, so every time I went to somebody's place, it was always inaccessible. So we had a lot of practice of somebody in the front and somebody in the back lifting me stair by stair. Yeah. So through Think First Injury Prevention, there are many chapters throughout the country. I'm on the National Board of Directors, so I get a chance to have exposure of a lot of the speakers that speak to the students, and people have different attitudes, and I ask them questions about this too. So what I do is, when they feel demeaned by getting up and down of the chair, I view it as, and this might be sounding crude, and it's like, you know what, you need to get over yourself. You're going to really limit your opportunities if you refuse to have people help you. I mean, I know this one lady that she refuses to go to restaurants with friends because they have a couple of stairs. Even though the food was fantastic, she doesn't want to go there because of that reason. And I'm thinking to myself, the world, even though I'm in a wheelchair, it's still open to a ton of opportunities. Take advantage of it. That's what I do.
Just allow yourself to believe the potential is endless, and that will also help individuals in their lives who run into it, because we all get bogged down. We all feel locked down and confused and upset. But if we allow ourselves to open up and say, I can do anything, and you can.
Our dignity, responsibility, and community. And if we live with that ethos in mind, I think we'll go a long way toward making this world a better place to be.
Yeah, so with media, there's two things that I've really seen a lot of. One is either like, and not just with people with autism, but also people with disabilities in general, is that they're either they're putting them up like in a whole place of like victory and triumph. It's like, to get the admiration, or they're putting them on another pedestal where it's like, the tragedy and the affliction and the pain, and neither of which is not helpful in the big picture. They don't. It's not admiration or pity that they need. It's like what they need is respect and equal rights in healthcare, education, and work and employment.
For me, the most important thing in life is to be able to own my own thoughts. Be able to express my own thoughts and my own viewpoints. To be able to. I still don't have the ability to voice. When I say to be able to have my own thoughts, oftentimes whether it's culturally or because of ability, you have this tug of war with yourself. Should I think this or should I not think that? But I guess right now, with age and with disability and the longevity of it, it's okay what I think, and I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong for a lot of things. I guess you learn to be a critique, a social critique, and your own experience is just as important, as anyone else. And it's individualized, whereas my experience may be different from yours. But then my experience does have value. To enjoy life and to enjoy passion. Don't be afraid of passion. Don't be afraid of passion. Always try different things.
I mean, people see sometimes my epilepsy as a weakness, and the fact that I can't work right now, and but I plan to someday, and I will have bumps in the road, but it's not going to stop me. And I know that, so I think as long as the person's confident in themselves, I don't think that anything can hold them back.
I think the biggest lesson about being with people with mental illnesses, I honestly, when I was first diagnosed, I was terrified I was crazy, because you hear so many stigmas. You read so many different books where people are institutionalized or in a hospital, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna end up in a hospital, and I'm gonna lose my kids, and I'm gonna lose myself. And I think coming to the realization that people who have mental illnesses aren't crazy. I think that is the biggest thing, is to realize that I wasn't insane, that what I'm going through is perfectly normal. And it's a normal association. And by doing these different things, cognitive behavioral therapy, meditation, exercise, these different techniques can all help one to be a better person overall, a healthier person overall. And I think that's kind of what it took, is me realizing, okay, I have to get healthy in order to be the best person and mom, first and foremost. I'm mama. Some days I don't even know my name other than mama. But, to be able to do that first and foremost, to learn that I had to take care of myself before I could take care of them, I think is the biggest message. You can't take care of yourself. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else either.